94.3 WRHD HD1, Farmville, Greenville.
I believe this is going to be our finest hour.
This is where the Pirates play. 94.3 The Game. It's 5 o'clock in Pirate Country, and it's time to get pumped up with the P-Man. Hit the door and hit the road. 94.3 The Game is going to get you home, and the P-Man's not holding back.
Yes! Yes! Pirates win! Pirates win!
Bring on the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Holy mackerel! Oh, my goodness!
The flagship station of the ECU Pirates.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Great to have you with us. Good afternoon. And we are joining you today on a day where certainly a lot of Pirate Nation is still recovering from the lack of sleep and recovering from, in many cases, folks that went to Charlottesville, Virginia, and took in the game last night and then made the trip back after it was over and got back in the wee hours, late at night or wee hours of the morning, and all of that going on. And then just the sting of defeat, the sting of having the season come to an abrupt end. And there's only really one team at the end of the year, especially in the sport of college baseball, that can truly go home happy and finish their season happy and on a high note. And unfortunately, that is not ECU this season. So that is the kind of main point of the program today. We've got some of the post-game for you from last night. Cliff Godwin's comments, the three seniors. You know, certainly a lot to celebrate this year. I mean, 47 wins, I think the most since 19, I believe, but it's been a couple seasons since that number was achieved, even with all the great success of last year. So 47 wins, a fourth straight American regular season title. Went to the AAC tournament game, went to a regional for the fifth straight time. Went to the regional final for the fourth consecutive time. And the Pirates were in both the games against Virginia, more so the one, obviously, Friday night with it being 2-1, or Saturday night with it being 2-1. But tough deal yesterday. And Pirate pitching was just bested by Conley early, who was unreal. 6 1/3 and struck out 10. And the Virginia pitching was outstanding. Virginia's pitchers threw the best they had and brought their game to ECU, and have to, again, sometimes maybe tip your cap. The game last night, East Carolina was ahead, and then the game was blown open by the Wahoos after it was tied at 2. And then, 7-2 Pirates trailed. They came in the 8th, and I thought the 8th they were going to get back in it as far as really get in there and quite possibly tie the game. Got the RBI from Will Coxon scoring Claunch, and then the Pirates loaded the bases, and Starling just crushed that ball to center field. A few more feet, it ties the game. Instead, he flies out to the warning track. So, I mean, you're looking at a grand slam that could have gotten East Carolina tied. Now, if everything had played out as it had, let's say the ball left the yard and we were tied at 7, you had the home run in the 9th inning, as it were, from UVA that would have proved to be the game winner. But when you go back, you can certainly look at that 8-3 game was probably not quite that decisive, although in the last few innings, the Cavaliers' powerful offense really got in gear. Great, I think, really nice start for Zach Root, all things considered. I think Ginn was, credit to him. The guy just hit a pitch, and, ECU was there. Is it disappointing not going to Omaha? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's disappointing not going there. It would have been poetic in 23 to take the jersey 23 to Omaha, but as I say, it's always tough being a Pirate. So you'll look. I certainly think it's going to be a younger ECU team. but it could be a really talented ECU team.
They got
next
nothing
year.
to be ashamed of.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And, I think it's hard to, again, when there's just the finality of the season ending, and it's just really tough to win, especially in this year's tournament. Although you've seen some teams do it, I think it's just really, really tough to be on the road. And, it was said by the announcers on the telecast yesterday that these were two number one seeded teams. I think ECU certainly talent-wise could have been a number one seed based on that. Now, they had some losses that were not great. I think a 2 seed was correct. I've talked to all kinds of people today, as you can imagine. And, I was asked by someone today, should they have been a higher number 2 seed or a number 2 seed that was paired with a higher seed? And I kind of ran through it. I said, well, where would you put them? I don't think you could have put them, and obviously keeping the regional situation in mind, I don't think you could have put them in South Carolina because Campbell swept them, and that's where Campbell was. I don't think you could have put them in Conway because, even though it was one game, Duke did beat them this year, way early in the season. So they had the advantage there. I'm not saying it came down to any of this. I was just kind of thinking out loud on this. And then, Tennessee's obviously a really, really good team, quite obviously. So I don't know if sending him to Clemson would have been an option. And I don't know if any of those spots would have been had any better or worse chance had you gone there. You could have argued Coastal because of their pitching issues right now. But look, Coastal's at home tonight against Duke in the regional final, winner-take-all situation. So, I think it's a little – you're going to have to beat good teams to get to Omaha and to win championships. You're going to have to beat really, really good teams. And East Carolina's a really good team that Virginia beat, but this is a really impressive Virginia team, particularly at home. They're just unstoppable at home. And I had not realized outside of the ACC they had not lost to anybody in their non-con, but they're now like 44-0 when they lead in the 8th inning, and they've got Jake Berry, who shut it down last night. Doesn't have the most fast stuff as far as velo, but at 6'10", it gets on top of you quick. A lot of good things to obviously be proud of for the Pirates, but I do think that, and rightfully so, there's a lot of disappointment in some respects because this felt like a team that, especially off the momentum from last year, had the pieces to make a run. But look, the season plays out as it does, and you just never know. We've got the game on here in the studio, and TCU has just got a homer from Austin Davis to take a lead against Arkansas in the Fayetteville Regional. So TCU could be, and that's in the 6th inning. So they still got a long ways to go, but should TCU win, Arkansas, a team that was kind of emerged as a sexy pick to maybe make a run at the Natty.
A sexy pick.
Yeah. They're losing right now. They could get beat because if TCU wins, that will eliminate the Razorbacks from the tournament. Chris Cook is there today. Cookie's chimed in a couple of times.
Woo!
So we'll give him his props. Good weekend, Cookie?
Yeah, how was your weekend? Well, obviously baseball losing ruined it a little bit, but yeah, it was a good weekend.
Well, yeah, it was tough. And sometimes, Cookie, I'll give up on the like when it got, 7-2, I'm sure there were some people that shut off the television, and for me, I probably could have wrapped it up and gone to bed, but I thought, I'm going to stick with this all the way through.
And for a man that gets up at 4 a.m., I know you care about it, yeah.
Right, not all heroes wear capes. And so, the call started to come in, and one guy was on the phone with me, and I was like, because he was all worked up, and I said, look, you got to stay on the phone with me now, because the Pirates are making a comeback. But I just, I wanted to see the thing through. And you were going to go to bed
otherwise, yeah.
No, I was going to see it through one way or the other because I just, I just kind of owed it to this group of guys. I really like everybody involved in that ECU baseball program that we interact with and speak with. Really like the players. I'm a big fan of a lot of the players on that team. They're just great people.
How about the senior
not just
class?
The 3 seniors.
Most
not just
wins
the 3
by
seniors,
Pirate
but they all
class.
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of things to be positive about, and I saw where it's been scuttled about that the 247 sports ratings have this as the number 4 recruiting class in the country coming in, and I mean that's awesome if that's the case, but it's going to be a lot of youth. And I was looking around. There's not been anything that I've seen reported today about certain people hitting the portal and that kind of thing. Not that anybody of consequence may be. I mean, I'm not saying that's imminent, but you got a lot of players getting in the portal right now, including some guys out of the AAC that are getting in there. In fact, there was a move this weekend. I'm actually kind of surprised it happened this quick, but Missouri has hired Kendrick Jackson, who was the coach at Memphis and had made Memphis a pretty respectable outfit. I thought Jackson would be there at least a couple more years maybe before he got the opportunity to move on, but he's headed to the SEC, and then you've got some players from Memphis. I think everybody on the roster virtually from Wichita State has jumped in. That's an interesting situation. The Engelhard, the infielder from Tulane, Chase Engelhard, who's a really good player, has gotten into the portal. It was announced this afternoon. I don't see yet any ECU people necessarily, but that doesn't mean that they haven't. It just hasn't been announced yet because there is a process going through. And I'm not saying they're going to go in. And obviously, I think there's some guys about their future in baseball, not necessarily entering the portal, but other things that have to make their decision on what they're going to do. If they're going to play in the pros, if they're going to do what they're going to do, and what have you. So I think that's got to be hashed out and worked out. We'll see what ends up happening with that in the coming days. And I'm excited tonight about this Coastal Duke matchup only because of the interest in proximity. I am interested to see how that game turns out because it's essentially Game 7. It is Game 7, but it's tense in the sense that it's winner take all. Coastal knocking off Duke last night, so that's the best thing about these games. And I think if East Carolina had somehow gotten into this game, somehow held on or rallied and gotten into that point tonight, it would have been interesting to see. It would have been very, very interesting to see.
I thought they had it there when it was 2-1 for until like the 5th inning, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, look, East Carolina played the game Saturday night, and I mean, I always try to talk to people smarter than I am, which isn't hard. But I always try to talk to people. Thank you, Cookie. I always try to talk to people who know more about a subject than I know, because that's the only way you can learn things, and that's the only way you can get the best information to kind of come up with your opinion or your take in our hot takery world. At least that's how I do it. Maybe I'm old school. But I really, there were two different guys I talked to who really aren't related to each other, really good baseball guys. I mean, great baseball guys. And they both called it one of the best. One said it was the best college game he's seen in a long, long while. The other saying that it was just a good baseball game, period, no matter the level. Saturday was a hell of a game. It was a fantastic game. And I thought last night was really good. And I got a little away from ECU at the end with the home runs, but I mean, I just think that was that Virginia team's really, really, really powerful, and they can hit. That's one thing they can obviously do is hit. And I think it would have taken a special performance, almost like you saw from Savage, and the bullpen maybe not being quite as worn down to hold them at bay. Was certainly disappointed to see that Rose got defeated in 2 games over the weekend by West Henderson. Rampant's another fantastic year. There was a tweet they put up today that talked about the last decade. And the neighborhood's a lot tougher than it used to be. I mean, Jason Mills does a great job with the Conley program. South Central's on the come and has played better. But Rose baseball over the last X amount of years, and I don't see it here. I thought maybe we'd retweeted it on the game, but must not have. We might have just given it a like.
We did retweet it on the game. I know exactly what tweet you're talking about.
Well, I don't see it on here, Coach.
Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, I don't see it on here.
Look back
But
over
it
the
had-
last 10 years, 181 and 54 overall record, 6 trips to the 4th round, 2 state championship appearances in 21 and 23, and 1 state title in 21.
So, I mean, I know, thank you, Cookie. I know when you're looking at that, you're probably thinking to yourself, if you're a Rose fan, boy, this stings and it's tough and you never want to get to the championship and lose. Nobody wants to lose, right? But I think that gives you a little bit of some insight into just how great RV's program has been. And it was tough to see them to get defeated in the best of 3 series in a couple games. But that Rose baseball program will still be around. I mean, they're just that good. And RV, I think, is going to keep doing it for a few more years. And by golly, he should do it as long as he wants to do it. Weather, though, was great this weekend. It was finally nice to get a good weather weekend, by the way.
Wasn't it?
We're watching my brother's dog Cooper, but we're watching Cooper for another week. I know, we are Coop. Coop's in here with me. And Cooper is, I got up early yesterday and I walked him. Right, Cookie? I walked Cooper.
Okay.
And I had a long sleeve shirt on and some kind of, around the house off course pants is.
Oh, I bet it got hot.
They refer to it as. No, not yesterday. It was quite cool.
Oh, okay.
Like I went out yesterday in the morning and walked Cooper, took him on a little walk in the neighborhood. It was quite chilly. I was like, my gosh, where did this come from? Because Saturday was hot. It was pretty warm, but it wasn't humid, thankfully. But it was still pretty warm. And today I thought was pretty warm a couple times I was out today. So, I mean, it's June, so it obviously should be. But I think even later in the week, it's going to get a little cooler and dry again, which is better than the rain. But I don't mind the temps not being in the 90s. I'm fine with not having a 90-degree day. Yeah, the rain's a little much. And I guess there's a chance of rain later on in the week. But not for our concert on the Common, which will feature Landslide, the Fleetwood Mac tribute band on Thursday from the Town Common, 6 o'clock. And, of course, we'll tell you more about that throughout the week here. A break, and when we return, we will do a Pirate Report. Here's some of the audio from last night's post-game gathering involving Coach Godwin and the 3 seniors. Big thanks to Lane Hoover, Carter Spivey, and Garrett Saylor on their fantastic careers, and also what they did for Pirate baseball this year and what they've done to help elevate Pirate baseball. I mean, those guys went through that wonky season that wasn't in 2020 and all stuck it out here, and really a lot of stuff that you would consider quite admirable. So congrats to them, and we will hear from those guys and Coach Godwin on our Pirate Report right after this.
We're back in minutes with more of the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
You should go have that tested.
Make sure to listen or watch now on the new IBX Media app. Get it now in the App Store or Google Play.
Concert on the Common.
Inner Banks Media's got the biggest and best free live shows in ENC.
And it gets even better Thursday, June 8th, when Landslide hits the Town Common in Greenville.
Landslide, a tribute to Fleetwood Mac on the Greenville Toyota Amphitheater stage. Live music, food, adult beverages, giveaways, and fun for the whole family.
Still to come.
The Legacy Motown Review, The Embers featuring Craig Woolard, and the Leonard Skinner Tribute Band. Tuesday is gone.
Find out more at concertonthecommon.org.
Special thanks to the City of Greenville and the Junior League of Greenville.
Concert on the Common is sponsored by ECU Health, Michelob Ultra, Pitt Greenville Airport, Greenville Toyota, The Air Doctor, Greenville Utilities, The Ritchie Law Firm, Sawyer's Fun Park, Polly Pylan State Farm Insurance, Eastern Plumbing, Town Bank, Specialty FDR, Optimum, Wells Roofing and Gutters,
and Inner Banks Media.
For over 100 years, the families at Bertie County Peanuts have been growing and selling peanuts. Much has changed since 1919, but quality is still number one. So if you are looking for great North Carolina snacks and gifts, look no further than Bertie County Peanuts. Small batch, hand-cooked, and 100% guaranteed. You can't go wrong with their gourmet peanuts. Shop online at BertieCountyPeanuts.net, and the shipping is now free. Or visit them at Powell & Stokes in Windsor. Bertie County Peanuts, a North Carolina tradition.
Texas Roadhouse in Greenville is happy to support the community. At Texas Roadhouse, they not only want to be your favorite restaurant, they also want you to know they love this community and love supporting it. From providing food for charity golf tournaments to their school support programs, Texas Roadhouse is there when the Greenville community needs them. Also, it doesn't hurt that their food is awesome. Steaks, ribs, chicken, you name it, it's legendary. Texas Roadhouse, Southwest Greenville Boulevard, Greenville. Have you had a colonoscopy? If you're between the ages of 45 and 75, you need to be screened regularly for colorectal cancer. Dr. Philip Goldstein at Carolina Digestive Diseases and Endoscopy Center wants to keep you healthy. Dr. Goldstein provides treatment and quality care for all GI needs. Just call the office at 252-758-8181. Appointments are always available within 5 business days.
Hi, this is Dr. Philip Goldstein reminding you that a colonoscopy can save your life. Visit our website, cddgastro.com, and come see us at Carolina Digestive Diseases.
It's time to travel again, and it's time to enjoy the convenience of flying from Pitt Greenville Airport. Reservations are available now at AA.com. Whether you're flying for business or leisure, Pitt Greenville Airport and American Airlines can get you to Charlotte and then anywhere on the map. You can't beat the convenience of parking right next to the terminal and the short lines at ticketing and security. For your next trip, check out the great rates offered at AA.com and support your local Pitt Greenville Airport.
And now, Patrick Johnson with today's Pirate Report on the flagship station of the ECU Pirates, 94.3 The Game.
All right, let's throw up the opening statement from Coach Godwin after last night's game and the season-ending loss to UVA.
Oh, man, it's always tough this time of year unless you're holding up the big trophy at the end and winning a national championship. And congrats to UVA. They're a really good team. Coach O'Connor, Coach Mack, their entire coaching staff and their players. They're a really good team. And it's a hard-fought game. 2-1 there late, and Lanigan pitched his tail off, and just didn't execute one pitch. And the guy hits a 3-run homer, and then Spives, we intentionally walk a guy because he's better versus lefties. Kind of same thing happens. I mean, if we could have those 2 pitches back, I think we'd win the game. But that's baseball. It's a game of inches, and Starling, hits the ball just a little bit off the end it would have been a grand slam to tie the game. So I couldn't be more proud of these 3 guys and our team. What these guys have meant to me here, 3 fifth-year seniors. I don't have the stats in front of me, but they probably won more games at East Carolina than any players in ECU baseball history. 3 regional championships, 4 conference regular season championships, couple conference tournament championships. They've all graduated. I'm super proud of them. I'm sorry I couldn't do more to get them to the promised land and play in the College World Series, but these 3 are very special to me, and I love them, and I just thank our entire team for the hard work they put in on the field and in the classroom, and we're a little bit short today.
Coach Godwin, on what UVA's starter Conley Early did against the Pirates to keep them in check.
He's really good. He's got 11 wins now, or 10. I don't know exactly. He had 10 going in. He locates his fastball really well and throws the slider kind of off the same plane with that. His fastball's got some ride to it. So early on we were fouling off some fastballs. There was a tick underneath it. I thought we made him work. Just couldn't come up with a big hit. The difference in the game is they got 2 3-run homers, and we didn't get a big hit with some guys on base. But like Sagami Starling just missed his. And Starling's been some big moments for us in his 3 years and hit some big home runs. So I'm just proud of the way our guys battled to the end.
More from Coach Godwin last night, and he talked about the start for Zach Root.
I'm going to be honest with you, I knew he pitched well. That's no disrespect to UVA, but in my mind, it's big game Root. Sometimes he didn't pitch good when it's not a big moment, but you talk about the first weekend we're behind, and he comes in against George Washington, and he's just mowing guys down, and then he closes out a game in front of 6,000 the second weekend against North Carolina. The bigger the moment, for whatever reason, as the adrenaline gets going, the stuff's good. You still got to work hard. These 3 guys will tell you, but we love him. But if he learns how to work like these three guys have worked over 5 years, then he's got a chance to pitch for a long time in professional baseball after East Carolina.
All right, that is Cliff Godwin there. We got one more Godwin cut, another fairly lengthy one here, but Coach Godwin, we referenced those three guys there at the podium with him, or the dais with him in the postgame were Garrett Saylor, Carter Spivey, and Lane Hoover. And Coach talked about the legacy that those three seniors leave behind.
That it was never easy for us. I mean, what we went through, I mean, the injuries from Starling missing time, Mullen missed a couple games, JC missed 2 weeks, Wilcoxon, missed the Houston weekend, Savage missed time, Miss Saylor missed 5 weeks, and our guys just kept grinding. I don't think the country probably respected us as much as I respected us, because we had 45 regular season wins, and even if we won the conference tournament, the NCAA wasn't going to let us host a regional, which not real sure how that happens. But what they did was special, because it wasn't easy. They did it the hard way, and had to come from behind. We weren't winning the conference like we have the past couple. We had to come from behind and sweep USF on the last weekend, and they did that. So, and lost game 1 of the AAC tournament, and most teams that would have been in our position, you're already in a regional, would have just packed it in, and those guys got to the championship game. Nobody had ever done that before.
Cookie, the other cut that we had earlier, do you have that one?
Yes, I do.
What is the intro on that one?
They pretty much ask what the legacy the seniors will leave behind. Like, how will the senior class be remembered?
Okay. Because I thought that's what we were playing, the one, but
I think someone rephrased it later again.
Okay, I understand. So this was kind of the, hey, we're going to ask you the question again.
Yeah, right.
So we get the soundbite we want, maybe. Yeah, okay. All right, well, hit that for us.
I'm going to let things settle in before I just start talking about next year. I'm going to enjoy my time that I have with these guys. No disrespect for you, but it's too raw right now for me to think about next year yet.
What are those three guys? What legacy do they leave?
I don't know, Chip. Most wins ever in ECU baseball history in 5 years. But as good a baseball players as they are, they're better people. And that's the thing I say every year. That we do it the right way. We don't cheat. We do it the right way. And we're going to get there. It's just hard until you knock that door down. But I tell you what, we're out of it. It just ain't come down yet. And when it comes down, it's going to be a flood, purple and gold to be in Omaha, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, great crowds this weekend. Obviously, Coach getting emotional there when he talked about it. This was a tough deal for to go on the road and win anytime in a regional. I mean, it just doesn't happen, and you got to earn it. And Virginia, like I said, really a great hitting team that just had a power surge at the end of the game yesterday. We have some stuff for the players here. This is Carter Spivey, who gave props to Zach Root.
He's a very talented kid, and he's going to be a really good pitcher for a really long time. And he kind of has that little it factor, if you know what I mean. The moment doesn't faze him, and I think you saw that tonight. And he's just a competitor. He's a great pitcher.
More from Carter Spivey, who talks about it's tough being a Pirate.
Yeah, I'm not the only one. I think all three of us have battled our own things in different ways, and I think that's what it means to be a Pirate baseball player. You embrace the adversity, you work through it, you get better, and I think the three of us up here can attest to that.
This is Garrett Saylor, fairly lengthy cut, giving a heartfelt thank you to the Pirate Nation.
Yeah, it's awesome. Shows the support that they have for us. We've been playing in front of this crowd for 5 years now. It's special. It means something. That's why you put on this uniform. to play in big crowds like this. We knew going in that UVA was going to be a good opponent, and they were going to attract a good crowd, and it's awesome to see some purple and gold out there too. I know we had a lot of them, but yeah, I mean, what Pirate Nation has done for us three, we can't thank Pirate Nation enough. We love each person, and it's just awesome to have their support.
And then finally, Lane Hoover, who also gave a heartfelt. Well, let's start with Cut 9, Cookie, on how UVA ultimately won the regional.
Yeah, I mean, I think we did hit some balls hard, but he was just mixing. And he was controlling both sides of the plate. But we did hit some balls hard.
And he's talking about Conley Early, the starter there. And then Lane Hoover gives his heartfelt thanks to Pirate Nation as well.
All I can say is that we gave it all we got, especially us three. And Pirate Nation was always behind us. And all I know is that we're Pirates for life. And this team's going to keep on going up. And, we're going to get there eventually, and I'm not sure when, but can't thank Pirate Nation enough. Like I said, we gave it everything we got.
Yeah, tough deal there. Lane Hoover is such a great young man. Anyway, that's always tough to hear that as the Pirates wrap up the baseball season. We'll have more. We're going to let kind of the next couple days play out. We're going to aspire to talk with Coach Godwin at some point here in the next, maybe later in the week, next week, sometime soon, just to kind of get his recap on the season. But just great guys. Really enjoyed covering that team this year and look forward to it next season. They're just fantastic representatives for the university, for athletics, and for the baseball program and their families. Just great stuff, and that's the tough thing to hear the players at the end there.
They seem pretty shaken up, yeah.
Well, yeah, and obviously very emotional. And Lane Hoover's logged a lot of innings, and Spivey was a guy that probably was not. He had to really straighten some things out to stick with the program. He said as much. And made those corrections and ended up having obviously a fantastic season last year. Saylor, I felt really the worst for, but he was probably throwing some of his better stuff at the end. But that 4, 5, 6 weeks where he was injured, he started the year hurt and had a period of time where he was hurt during the middle of the season. That was, tough for him, tough to go through that in your senior year. All right. Chris Cook with a 94-3 the game sports update and Pirate report for you right now, including some scores from games going on around NCAA baseball. There's regionals that are being played, regional championship games being played right now. So Cookie with an update on that, and we will then come back and do a little weekend winner, weekend worse for some other things that are going on out there. Right now, here's Cookie.
The year of 2023 was not meant to be for East Carolina heading to Omaha. The Pirates fought valiantly out of the losers bracket and led 2-1, but the Pirates lost the regional final. ECU gave up 7 runs on 3 homers in the final 3 frames and lost 8-3 to Virginia. The Pirates have now completed 33 postseason tries in the NCAA tournament without a trip to the College World Series, the longest active streak in college baseball. ECU finished the season 47-19 and has won 4 straight regular season conference championships under head coach Cliff Godwin and 3 regional titles in that span. Coach Cliff Godwin on what UVA did to keep the Pirates in check.
He's really good. He's got 11 wins now, or 10. I don't know exactly. He had 10 going in. He locates his fastball really well and throws the slider kind of off the same plane with that. His fastball's got some ride to it, so early on we were fouling off some fastballs. There was a tick underneath it. I thought we made him work. Just couldn't come up with a big hit. The difference in the game is they got 2 3-run homers, and we didn't get a big hit with some guys on base, but. Like Sagamian and Starling just missed his, and Starling's And it's big moments for us in these 3 years and hit some big home runs. So I'm just proud of the way our guys battled to the end.
This was the first season since 2018 that ECU hasn't reached a super regional. The number 1 overall seed Demon Deacons are moving on to the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals. Wake Forest capped off a 3-0 weekend in the regional round with a 15-1 victory over George Mason on Sunday. Today, Duke and Coastal Carolina will play for a berth in the Super Regionals in a winner-take-all game to wrap up the Conway Regional. North Carolina, NC State, Charlotte, Campbell, and UNC Wilmington had their seasons come to an end in the regional round. And now let's take a look around at some other regional scores going on right now as I pull up my scoreboard. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. Here we go. Okay. Texas Tech took on number 2 Florida, and number 2 Florida was able to get the win 6-0. Currently, LSU is battling Oregon State in the bottom of the 9th. LSU is winning that game handily 13-5. Arkansas is taking on TCU, and that game is in the bottom of the 7th. TCU is currently winning 7-4. And now in the top of the 8th, Southern Miss and Pennsylvania. Southern Miss has got the edge over Pennsylvania 8-7. And as we said earlier, coming up later tonight, there is Duke and Coastal Carolina. J.H. Rose lost in the state baseball championship series in 2 games, losing to West Henderson. The series played in Burlington Friday night and Saturday afternoon. The Rampants appearing in their 9th championship round all time and had won 7 times previously, including in 2021. Rose wraps up their season at 26-6. Kyle Busch took home the checkered flag in the Enjoy Illinois 300 for his 3rd NASCAR Cup Series win of the season. After an early delay due to lightning strike, Busch emerged from the pack over the final 40 laps to secure an overtime win at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Victor Hovland is celebrating his 4th career win on the tour. Hovland topped Denny McCarthy in a playoff win in the Memorial Tournament in Dublin, Ohio. Both players finished atop the leaderboard at 7 under par. The Carolina Panthers are starting their final week of organized team activities. Carolina will return to the field today and wrap up OTAs on Thursday. The Panthers are gearing up towards their mandatory minicamp that begins on June 13th. Head coach Frank Reich has said that he expects tight end Hayden Hurst and wide receiver DJ Clark to participate in individual drills as they recover from injuries. A mobile sports betting bill will return to the North Carolina House this week. This after House Bill 347 passed the Senate last Thursday with several changes. The Senate version, which would legalize online sports gambling on professional and college sports, along with horse racing and in-person wagering, must also be approved by the House and signed by Governor Roy Cooper before becoming law. However, House Speaker Tim Moore is expected to push for an amendment to have online sports betting combined with casino and video gambling. That'll do it for your 94.3 The Game Sports Update. This sports update is brought to you by the new IBX Media app. Download for free on the App Store and on Google Play. More of the Patrick Johnson Show on the other side of this quick timeout right here on 94.3 The Game.
The number 1 drive time sports show. The Patrick Johnson Show returns in minutes. 94.3 The Game.
Greeting friends of Eastern North Carolina. If you're looking for a great place to work with competitive pay and a multitude of advanced opportunities, Pitt County Schools is hiring. We employ over 3,500 people, and we're one of the largest employers in Pitt County. We are currently seeking teachers, bus drivers, school nutrition personnel, facilities staff, custodians, clerical staff, and more. We offer advanced leadership opportunities to our educators and competitive pay for our skilled labor force. If you want to be part of a thriving school system that focuses on educating students, growing our employees, and promoting positive mental and physical health habits, we encourage you to become a part of our Pitt County Schools family to help ensure success for the future of Eastern North Carolina. To fill out an application, visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org. And remember, education is truly a team effort. Pitt County Schools. Live and lead.
You know, it just hit me. A lot of people think that Rough Greens is dog food. Not at all. Rough Greens is a dog supplement. Greetings. I'm naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, founder of Rough Greens, and you may already know this, but dog food is dead food. And Rough Greens is what our furry family members desperately want and need nutritionally to rebuild their immune system so they can feel better and live longer. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just sprinkle on some Rough Greens with the live vitamins, minerals, probiotics, digestive enzymes, omega oils, tons of antioxidants, all to help with their low energy, achy joints, bad breath, and all the other problems they have. So yes, my dogs and I are still offering a free Jumpstart trial bag, so your dog can try it. All you got to do is cover the shipping. Hey, it's an easy, smart way to help your furry friend feel better and live longer. A free Jumpstart trial bag can be at your door within a few business days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Have you had a colonoscopy? If you're between the ages of 45 and 75, you need to be screened regularly for colorectal cancer. Dr. Philip Goldstein at Carolina Digestive Diseases and Endoscopy Center wants to keep you healthy. Dr. Goldstein provides treatment and quality care for all GI needs. Just call the office at 252-758-8181. Appointments are always available within 5 business days.
Hi, this is Dr. Philip Goldstein reminding you that a colonoscopy can save your life. Visit our website, cddgastro.com, and come see us at Carolina Digestive Diseases.
It's time for Weekend Winners.
Yes, I win! Game over! I win!
And the weekend's worst.
Worst day of my life? What do you think?
Here on the Patrick Johnson Show.
All right. 5:41 now as we bring you weekend winners, weekend worst. Some of the highlights and lowlights. The laurels. And I forget what the other fancy term is in journalism. The not-so-laurels, perhaps, for
that sounds about right.
For the weekend that was. Yeah, that does sound about right. I think that's the technical term. Let's see. I'm very gracious today. I've got a weekend winner.
You're a winner.
Weekend winner.
I want to shout out Trey Richardson of TCU. Right now, his Horned Frogs lead 7-4 over Arkansas in that regional championship game in Fayetteville, Arkansas. But Trey Richardson, Cookie, for TCU, who, by the way, has 56 RBI this year with just 5 home runs. So, I mean, this guy's knocking the ball in left and right.
I got you.
He tied the record yesterday in the NCAA tournament with 11 RBI in the game in TCU's win, and he hit grand slams in consecutive at-bats.
Oh, yeah, I saw
so he
that
had
on
2
Instagram.
grand slams.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is cool.
So Trey Richardson, a weekend winner, and right now his team could be a winner. They're in the 8th inning leading. I got another weekend winner from baseball.
You're a winner.
Weekend winner.
Well, Southern Miss has expanded the lead to 8-7 in the 8th inning, but you got to give Penn some credit out of the Ivy League as they get to the regional championship game. There's always a great story in these regional rounds of a team that kind of pulls surprises or stuns everybody. Penn was trailing 8-4, maybe, and got it to 8-7 a minute ago. But now there's been some runs added by Southern Miss, and that's. But hats off to Penn. It's not looking great for Penn, but it would be cool to see somebody out of the Ivy League go to the Super Regionals. But I don't think it's going to materialize today. That weekend winner leads us to a weekend worst.
You blew it! Weekend worst.
You know, I think the deal where Auburn, now Campbell got beat, so it's tough to say, well, if Campbell had hosted. But, I mean, they were going to host in Fayetteville, so they would have been in a great ballpark. That team could hit, although they were hitting kind of left them at least for a couple games over the weekend in the regional. They ultimately got bounced. But I just think Auburn is the team that was seeded not good. It was very interesting what Cliff Godwin said. I mean, you've got a team that won 45 games through their conference tournament, and they weren't in the hosting conversation. So a deep field this year. A lot of guys, that year of extra eligibility and the portal, a lot of stuff came to roost this year with that. So that's a weekend worst. Got a couple more weekend winners. Let's hit it.
You're a winner. Weekend winner.
It's really not from the weekend, but sports gambling passed in North Carolina.
Woo!
At least passed the House and or passed the Senate. It's going to be taken up by the House, it's believed, this week. We talked about it with Brian Murphy, obviously, on Thursday. But, and let me thank Philip and Cookie and Clark for being in for me on Friday as I had another assignment elsewhere. Final one of the sports broadcast calendar. It's been a busy sports broadcast calendar this year.
We figured out something that day that when it says, or the rejoin says you're back with the P-Man, Philip's initial is P, so he technically still can be,
it still worked. Well, look, there's no off position on the genius switch, whoever came up with that. But the sports gambling legalized, and we've been long advocating for that here on the program because, and it was interesting today, I was talking to somebody again in this space, and they were telling me, this fellow was telling me that he thought that casino in Danville riled people up because people started calling their lawmakers, why aren't we legalizing sports gambling? Why do I have to go all the way to Danville, Virginia, which is right across the border with North Carolina and Virginia above Greensboro? Why do I have to go all the way there to lay a wager or do something? And I think that's one reason why you're seeing all of a sudden this shift for the possibility of casinos or video gambling machines. Cookie, this is long one that we have talked about. Final weekend winner for me. No, I got a couple more. But
weekend winner.
Wouldn't you know it? I'm like Cookie. I'm finding my screen now. But this was a good thing that happened over the weekend. Churchill Downs has suspended racing operations in the wake of the fact that 12 horses have died as a result of injuries sustained at the home of the Kentucky Derby over the last few weeks. So that's good. I mean, now, there's no single factor, they say, that's identified the potential cause or common pattern, but race operations will be suspended starting Wednesday, so June 7th, all the way through July 3rd, for the remainder of the spring meet, as they call it. And I think if you got a dozen horses dying,
there's something wrong with that picture. Yeah.
Our friend Dave Richmond, who's related to Roger Craig, who's from Durham and was a great baseball man. Roger Craig has passed, and that's Dave's uncle. So our condolences to him and Dave and his family. Dave, I love you if you're listening, but I was ardently against Roger Craig when he was managing the Giants because they beat my Cubbies in the '89 playoffs. So I was anti-Roger Craig, just so you know. But obviously, what a effect he had on the game of baseball. I was reading a great article about the pitch he taught today. I mean, it's just unreal, Roger Craig's legacy. Let's see. Another weekend winner. Last one for me.
Weekend winner.
All right. ECU Chancellor Philip Rogers, Dr. Philip Rogers, is named the new chair of the American Athletic Conference Board of Directors. So that's pretty cool.
There you go.
We'll get a little bit more on that because we're short on time. They just wrapped up meetings in Vail, Colorado. I was going to go through some of that today, but I'll go through it tomorrow. But there has been a spike in revenue going to member institutions, so that's good. Cookie, do you have any weekend winner, weekend worst? We got to be quick here.
I got one of each, and I'll be super quick. Here we go.
All right.
You're a winner. Weekend winner.
My boy Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. People are saying Jordan Love can't do it. Romeo Dobbs, current Packers receiver, says Aaron Rodgers was a really great quarterback, but I believe Jordan Love can do the exact same thing, so I don't really see what's the big difference. I'd love to see my Packers say that we still got a chance. And here we go with the worst.
You blew it! Weekend worst.
This is in regards to the NBA Finals. I just thought this was atrocious. The Nuggets' playoff record when Jokic scores 40-plus points is 0-4, and they are 13-1 when he scores fewer than 40. So what in the world is going on with that picture? There you go.
Nobody else is contributing.
Oh, yeah, right.
Nobody else. That's why he's got to do all the work himself. As great a player as the Joker is, he's fantastic, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he is, isn't he?
Hey, let me ask you this. Why is this guy's opinion a weekend winner for the Packers? That made no sense.
Because everyone's like, as a Packer fan, we're all like very down on this coming up season. You know, obviously Rodgers leaving. So thank God the players are saying it could be good.
I know you stretch a lot. Did you hurt yourself with that reach? You reached
that
there.
Was a good. You got me.
You reached. You hurt yourself on that reach, didn't you? You pulled something.
A little bit.
Maybe a hammy or something. A quad. All right. I'm just saying things. All right. We'll take a break. And when we come back, we'll wrap up the show right after these words.
All things ECU at 943thegame.com.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
More of the P-Man coming up in minutes.
Do you ever talk to yourself about where to eat today, and then you hear
Warren's hot dogs.
Then you're thinking, yeah, 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for only $6.25 would be awesome.
Warren's hot dogs.
And maybe some homemade lemonade, perhaps a pizza or a sub, and definitely an apple or peach turnover.
Warren's hot dogs.
Don't overthink where to eat today. Go to Warren's Hot Dogs in Greenville across from Ron Ayers or in Chocowinity next to the fire station. Warren's Hot Dogs, serving the Pirate Nation since 1991. Go Pirates!
Concert on the Common.
Inner Banks Media's got the biggest and best free live shows in ENC.
And it gets even better Thursday, June 8th, when Landslide hits the Town Common in Greenville.
Landslide, a tribute to Fleetwood Mac on the Greenville Toyota Amphitheater stage. Live music, food, adult beverages, giveaways, and fun for the whole family.
Still to come.
The Legacy Motown Review, The Embers, featuring Craig Woolard, and the Leonard Skinner Tribute Band. Tuesday is gone.
Find out more at concertonthecommon.org.
Special thanks to the City of Greenville and the Junior League of Greenville.
Concert on the Common is sponsored by ECU Health, Michelob Ultra, Pitt Greenville Airport, Greenville Toyota, The Air Doctor, Greenville Utilities, The Ritchie Law Firm, Sawyer's Fun Park, Holly Pylan State Farm Insurance, Eastern Plumbing, Town Bank, Specialty FDR, Optimum, Wells Roofing and Gutters,
and Inner Banks Media.
Hello, Eastern North Carolina. I'm Matt Murchison here at Greenville Nissan. I'm along with Scotty Turner.
Hey, Matt. How are you?
I'm well, buddy. How are you?
Man, this is awesome day, isn't it?
It is. We got a great selection of inventory with some great specials going on.
We really do. We have something that we don't normally have over the last 3 or 4 months,
That's
Matt.
right.
We have Nissan Sentras in stock, which is plenty to choose from. Folks, they're not going to last very long, and I'm going to give you a couple reasons why. 1, supply and demand. There aren't many of them out there. We're blessed to have some. 2, you're going to get more money for your trade right now than you ever have, even through the last 3 years of COVID. It's because of supply and demand. Matt, I know there's a lot of things you can tell us right now about lease payments.
Oh, yeah. We got a great lease special right now going on with the Sentra. We got a 0 down, $269 lease special right now going on the Sentra. Got a great lease special on the Rogue right now. No money down, $375 right there. The Pathfinder, no money down, $395. The Maxima, no money down, $375. It's a great time to come take advantage of these lease specials. Check out our website, greenvillenissan.com. Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
Leases are 10,000 mile, 18 months, must pay tax, tag, title, and dock fees. See dealer for details.
Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group is not your typical insurance agency. We educate you on your insurance choices rather than sell you a policy. We offer protection plans including home and auto insurance, health care plans, crop and farm insurance, business insurance, and more. We go the extra mile to find a solution for you even when it's not easy. We take pride in supporting our communities as well as our clients. Come by one of our offices to talk with a trusted risk advisor today. Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group, your whole world covered.
And now, the stunning conclusion of the show. It's the P-Man here on 94.3 The Game.
All right. Thanks for being with us here today. We got a few more minutes left in the show. I was looking at this. Found the article earlier, then I confirmed this with our aforementioned friend Dave Richmond. Love Dave over there in Williamston. But it's the split finger that Roger Craig was credited with. 93. Managed the Giants from the mid-'80s to the early 90s. and won nearly 600 games with them. Won in their first pennant in '89 over my Cubbies, first one since '62. But he pitched with the 3 World Series for Roger Craig. Was with the Dodgers, Mets, Cards, Reds, Phillies, most notably at the Dodgers and Mets. And Roger Craig from Durham. So there's the connection there. Former Jets offensive lineman DeBrickashaw Ferguson. I hope I'm pronouncing his first name correctly.
DeBrickashaw is how you pronounce it.
DeBrickashaw. Yeah, DeBrickashaw Ferguson is going to attend nursing school. How about that?
Oh, hey, good for him. There you go.
That's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Very
I
commendable.
think that's a great.
More than I could do, I'll tell you that.
It is a very commendable thing. That's a heck of a second act, and I'm glad he's doing that. That's one of those professions or vocations where you will always find work in that level of the medical field.
There's always need for more nurses. Yeah.
More need for nurses. I think if you are in the trades of electric and plumbing and those sort of things, you're always going to find work. You will always have something to do. I wish I were more handy. I would have tried to pursue one of those because you're always going to find work. You're going to do really well. Welders, always going to do well.
See, I just can't do that kind of work.
I just have no aptitude for it.
Me either. I'm not interested in any of it.
As Mike Mullis described me late last week, I'm kind of soft, he said. Kind of soft?
Hey, I am too, man. Nothing wrong with that.
I just didn't know if I needed Mully describing me as kind of soft.
No, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
I guess not. Well, thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget we have our concert on the Common this week. Landslide, the tribute band for Fleetwood Mac at 6 o'clock at the Town Common. See you in the morning on the Talk of the Town program with the Big Hen. We've got our Talk of the Town poll debuting tomorrow. Don't know what that is? Tune in, 7 to 9. And big thanks to Clark and Cookie for today. And we'll be back tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Fresh episode of the Patrick Johnson Show right here on 94.3 The Game. Have a great evening, everybody.
Hear 94.3 The Game anytime on the IBX Media app. Download it for free in the App Store or Google Play and get to your favorite radio station in 2 clicks.